Hey, this is the World Advice Channel 2. What I want to talk about today is a problem with the American political system. So, for this video, I will explain in a simple and straightforward way what the problem with the American political system is, as well as what can be done to, of course, make it become better. So, of course, America doesn't have to be as divided as it is now. Okay, so now that I mention that, let's get started. So, when it comes to what exactly is the problem with the American political system, is a problem with it is simple, okay? Um, when it comes to how it's run, is that the way it's run is that it focuses on taking things that matter to both sides of people, or I should say the American public, and dividing it into both different sides that just make it more likely that there's going to be division in the general population, okay? That is a problem with the American political system for that matter, okay? Because the truth of the matter is, when it comes to the American political system, to be more exact and more precise, is that America right now is in a state where you can either pick one or two sides that both suck, okay, for that matter, okay? You can either pick the left-wing side that advocates for pretty much living in a moral-less society where people just do whatever the fuck they want to do, you know, and stuff, and promote stuff that makes people feel uncomfortable, like homosexuality, through movies and TV shows and all that type of stuff. For that matter, that makes people feel uncomfortable. And of course, people do not want their kids to see that stuff and all that type of weird stuff, as well as the political ideology that communism works when it actually doesn't and has never really worked for that matter. So you can pick them, you know, for that matter, or you could pick the right wing that, of course, you know, doesn't believe in that stuff. Their economic system is clearly capitalist in nature, as well as the fact that they believe in things like morality and so on and so forth. But if you're a person of color, specifically black, let alone anyone of color, their policies are very hateful and are against, you know, um, you know, obviously making sure that people of color have rights, like we've enjoyed for the past few decades, actually, for that matter. Okay, for that matter. Okay, so you can either pick one of those two things, you know, and as I've already discussed before, what both of those sides stand for and why both of those sides suck in one way, shape, or form or another. Okay, that is the truth of the matter. Okay, so that is why the American political system is so freaking divided for that matter right now. There's other things that both sides stand for that obviously matter to people a lot, but those two specific things I referred to, for the examples I given, are the biggest things that obviously are the biggest things that are not only well known, but are the biggest hindrances, you know, that when it comes to being able to unite Americans, for that matter, okay? Because both of those issues, of course, matter a lot to Americans. And American political system is like, you know, even though both of these options suck, pick one that you prefer. And that's the truth of the matter. So that right there, like I explained before, is why American political system sucks. Because they take things that matter to people and they just simply put it here and put it there. And it's a case of, well, just pick one, you know, no matter how much one side actually sucks. It's a case of pick a lesser of two evils, even though both sides generally are bad for that matter, okay? It's just like saying, okay, you can either pick, you know, Satan or Lucifer, you know, which apparently they're two different people according to Christian theologians, you know, or, you know, for that matter. So apparently they are. I don't know. But anyway, I'm just going by what they say. So you could either pick one of those two options, but both of those options suck. And that's how the American political system is like now. So that's the truth about America and why they're so disunited. Now, the obvious question that comes up is what can be done to fix the American political situation right now? Well, the simple answer when it comes to the American political situation, if there's anything that can resolve it, is that first and foremost, when it comes to the two sides that are clearly divided, the left wing and the right wing, the first thing that obviously can be done is first and foremost, we need to realize that there's a common ground. There's a common ground where people on both sides can get along for that matter. because in general for life, there's something known as a common good, and the common good is a common logical system. That means that there's something that can benefit both sides, and that's the truth of the matter for that matter. Okay, and when it comes to, aside from that point, what can be done to be more specifically, the first thing that obviously America needs to do is realize that people can live the lives they want to live, like for example being gay and all that sort of stuff, but there's a difference between being a part of that lifestyle or any other immoral lifestyle, or I should say morally questionable lifestyle for that matter. But at the same time, people need to realize that people need to realize, as you were saying before, that people do not have the right to force their opinions on other people, because no matter how you look at it, there's actually many problems with the LGBTQ plus community, let alone their ideology they're trying to put out there. Like the fact of the matter that wouldn't it just make it easier for men and women to not really want to be around each other, because they can just say, okay, I can just date women if you're a woman, and if you're a guy, I could say I could just date guys. Like, wouldn't it just promote greater hatred? Let alone it actually creates a lot of problems, because it just encourages people to just sleep with each other all the time, since most people of both genders, most of their friends, of course, are people of the same gender. So it creates a lot of problems in that sense, and it just in general has there's many problems with that lifestyle that haven't been discussed publicly to the public, because of course of political um you know um manipulation, or in other words, political agendas that have been put out there. Okay, but there's actually many problems with it. So what I'm thinking is that maybe we should present the pros and cons of that lifestyle, so people can actually realize, okay, is this something I want to do? Is this something I don't want to do? Because obviously you're an individual. You get to choose what you want to do or what you don't want to do. It's as simple as that. And to say that's offensive is stupid, for that matter. Okay, so that's one of the first things. The second thing is to also realize, you know, second main thing, specific, of my two main points, specific main points for that matter, on what can be done to help the American political system, is to also realize that there's a fundamental principle or fundamental rights that should be guaranteed for everyone. First and foremost, the right to self-defense. Everybody has a right to self-defense, so there shouldn't be any attempt to outlaw firearms, because firearms make it much easier and effective for people to be able to defend themselves. That's the first point. The second point, to go alongside that fact, aside from that, is to realize, of course, no surprise, global warming should be something that should be taken more seriously, and shouldn't be something that is despised and just believed to be a conspiracy theory or something like that. That's the second thing out there. The third thing out there, aside from that, to put it bluntly, as well, to go alongside that point, is to also realize people have freedom of speech. Either way, the main point is that there's fundamental principles that political parties should not be able to manipulate and present it as something, that they're going to take away, for that matter, on either end of the spectrum, whether left wing or right wing, for that matter. Okay, that's the truth of the matter. So in other words, there should be certain fundamental rights that are guaranteed, that no side, left wing or right wing, would have the ability to, of course, take away, and as a result politicize, which just create further division in the public of America, for that matter, for crying out loud. So that's exactly what I'm trying to get across here. So in short, that is what I feel could be done to help America resolve its issues that it has when it comes to the political division. Because in general life, there's always something that was a common good. As I was saying before, at least I believe I was, for that matter, there was something that was a common good for everybody. So we need to have a common good to make sure that there's something for everybody in the world to be able to, of course, have, so life doesn't, of course, suck, for that matter. Okay, so that's the truth of the matter. So to finally end this video off, Um, that is what I believe is what is causing the American division. In other words, why the American political system sucks, because they're taking things that matter to both sides of people. And also, as well, I also mentioned what can be done to resolve this issue, which I believe is actually quite plausible for that matter. Okay, the things I mentioned. So this is all I have to say for my video. Um, just to let people know, I hope you enjoyed this video and found informative. And just remember, if you like this video and videos like this, remember to thumb this video up and hit the subscribe button. And this is all I have to say. And to be put, I'm out. So bye.